And due to circumstances beyond our control, we have returned for another edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Happy Thursday, 21st day of March, 2019. I am Dan Kuntz, Janice in control. It's the first full day of spring. Winter's in the books. We're done with it. Very strange winter. Mild December, mild January, cold, snowy and cold February, and then a cold, cold March. What is this going to do to your garden? When are we going to start planting things? When can we go out and start getting things ready to go for the upcoming gardening season? Not just gardening, but all the cool stuff we like to do with our yards, shrubs, bushes, trees, grass, whatever the case may be. That'll be the topic in the second half of the program. Bonnie Orr will be dropping by. Bonnie Orr comes by at least 4 times a year, usually more than 4 times a year, on the 2 equinoxes and the 2 solstices. So, since we already had the spring equinox, Bonnie will be dropping by. My one piece of advice: don't plant anything until you hear from Bonnie. That'll come up in the second half of the program. Breaking news: Ichiro has played his final game as a Seattle Mariner. He left the field in the 8th inning to a huge ovation. He announced right before the game began that he would be retiring from baseball. So a Seattle Mariner icon. 19 years in Major League Baseball, another 9 years, of course, in the Japanese Professional League. Ichiro has played his last game. The Mariner game with Oakland, by the way, is still going on. We'll get to that when we get to sports. But the Wenatchee Wild won. That series is now tied at 2 games apiece. We'll have highlights from British Columbia with their series at Cowichan Valley. Nice victory for the Wild. And that means we'll go at least 6 games now in this series. With the forecast, we got the news, including the latest on the tragic shooting death of the Kittitas County Sheriff's Deputy from yesterday. We'll get to that. We also have the obscure holiday birthdays today in history. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. It's Thursday. That means Kennel Cameos with Megan McPherson. We'll see if we can get Gator the dog home. You'll get to meet Gator in just a couple of minutes. And the usual shenanigans apply. It's 7:03. It is sunrise. Let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras. The cross camera is up and running again. It was kind of misbehaving yesterday, so we gave it the day off. The cross camera took a personal day. There you go. And still, the snow continues to melt and continues to recede. Most of the lowlands now, with the exception of those big, wide open fields where they had a lot of snow, and then, of course, it got to be like cement. There's still some issues there. Outside of that, the snow melt continues. No real flooding concerns at all because the rivers and the streams are actually below normal for this time of year. They're able to take in what Mother Nature is giving it. And our overnight lows are chilly. I mean, yesterday's low was 32 degrees, and that certainly slows down the snow melt. No problems there. It's 37 right now. So, again, they're not predicting any kind of significant flooding at all. Keep your fingers crossed on that. So far, so good. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley. Camera 2, where are we going, Janice? We're going to take a visit to the Arundel Rock camera, looking south towards Turtle Rock, which dominates your view there. The sun is just beginning to kiss the Mission Ridge Ski Resort. My guess is you're running out of time to ski, aren't you? I think the Dummy Downhill is this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Beautiful view of the Columbia River, which looks more like a lake than a river. That's what happens when you have a reservoir behind a dam. Camera 3, Janice says, back to Monument Hill we go. And I mean, just for the last couple of days, when we did the Monument Hill camera on Monday and Tuesday of this week, all that you could see there was all covered in snow. That is really starting to recede. That's good news. Good view from Quincy out there. Nicely done, Janice. And finally, camera 4. It's off to, she's going to throw me for a loop. Let's see. That's Jump Off Ridge. That's Jump Off Ridge. Took me for a while. I'm sorry about that. It took me for a while. It's kind of been moved a little bit. It's moved a little bit to the east. You can see almost the entire East Wenatchee bench, but of course up in that area, upper elevations and not as much direct sunlight, there's still quite a bit of snow up on the Jump Off Ridge and the Stemill Basin area. So that's a look around the Wenatchee Valley with our cameras, courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless, which means you can get super fast internet to your house without having fiber run to it. That's a pretty good deal. From the National Weather Service, your forecast looks something like this. High pressure is still in charge for the next 18 to 24 hours, roughly. Still going to see some sunshine today. We had some high clouds yesterday. We topped off at 62 degrees. We'll get about 61 today under mostly sunny skies, although we do have a few high clouds out there right now. Mostly cloudy tonight, 43 for the overnight low. Sunshine for the most part Friday, but Friday afternoon is when this high pressure ridge is going to start breaking down. The clouds and the chance of a shower is going to pick up by the time we get to the weekend. We're going to be fairly dry until we get later on into the next week, specifically Monday and Monday night. That's where we're looking for some measurable rain. So if you have outdoor plans for the weekend, Saturday looks cloudy and cool. That 56 is a little bit below normal, but we go right back to the sunshine on Sunday and a high near 60. So the temperature is going to be pretty close to average, maybe just a little bit below average on Monday and Tuesday. Measurable precipitation, good chance of it, 80% measurable rain, I'm told, on Monday night with an overnight low around 37. And then we got kind of a mixed bag, some sun, some clouds. So good looking day today. Most of the day Friday, cloudy but dry Saturday, and then sunshine on Sunday. That is your forecast from the National Weather Service. Don't have to worry about the passes. They're looking just fine. You're not going to, in fact, we're going to pretty much dispense with the mountain passes unless something crazy happens, like they get a snowstorm and they decide that they are going to go ahead and do a traction tire advisory. We'll let you know about that if they do any avalanche control work. We'll let you know about that, but really no reason to do the pass report because you're good to go. Just hop in your car, buckle up, and drive safe. 6.5 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break. When we come back, it's your Thursday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
My name is Hannah Peterson-Kinney, and I'm a certified nurse midwife. I became a midwife because I thought birth was one of the most amazing, beautiful things. It's about caring for women through many stages of life and helping to empower them with knowledge and build partners to improve their health. It would be an honor to provide care for you, and I would love to welcome you to the CVCH midwife family.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks, so bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
Fair skies, good-looking sunrise, 37 degrees, mostly sunny today, and a high of 61. Sunshine for the most part on Friday. We cloud up on Saturday, and the sun makes an encore appearance on Sunday. Here's what's making the headlines. A Kittitas County Sheriff's deputy killed and another police officer injured. The shooting happened, of course, Tuesday night in Kittitas. The suspect in the shooting also shot and later died at Kittitas County Valley Hospital. Killed 42-year-old Kittitas County Sheriff's Deputy Ryan Thompson, a Washington State native who leaves behind a wife and 3 children. 22-year-old Kittitas Police Officer Benito Chavez also wounded in the shooting. Thompson responded to a report of a road rage driver in the Badger Pocket area of Kittitas County. This happened at 7:30 Tuesday night. The driver led the deputy on a chase into the city of Kittitas, and well, at the end of Pierce Street, the suspect exited the vehicle and began firing at both Thompson and Officer Chavez. Thompson died of his injuries at the hospital. Chavez airlifted to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. He is listed in satisfactory condition. At a press conference yesterday, Kittitas County Sheriff Gene Dana, Kittitas Police Chief Chris Taylor, and Ellensburg Police Chief Ken Wade all spoke about their fallen officers and where the investigation goes from here.
This is a tragedy. Officer-involved shootings happen too often across our country, but almost never here. The last fatal officer-involved shooting in our county happened 92 years ago. And the last officer to die in the line of duty from this sheriff's office was over 60 years ago. Again, I'd like to thank all of the responding officers, EMS, and hospital personnel that worked last night and continue to support us. Our community has a very heavy heart today, and last night we lost one of our finest.
Officer Chavez was a fresh reserve in June of this year, of 2018. I hired him on as a full-time entry-level officer in July. He went through the Basic Law Enforcement Academy in September, graduated January 29th, and started working for our agency full-time. He's a respected officer. He's a 22-year-old man who provides this community with the protection it deserves. I would like to reach out to him and his family. Our prayers, thoughts are with them while they struggle through this.
This has a tremendous impact on our law enforcement community, not only locally, but across the state and across the nation. The Ellensburg Police Department has been asked, at the request of Sheriff Gene Dana, to conduct the criminal investigation or the investigation as to what occurred. And that's with the assistance of the Washington State Patrol. We began that investigation last night. What I can share with you is just a snippet of what actually occurred. I would appreciate your cooperation and understanding that this is an ongoing investigation. It's in the very early stages, and so there's a lot of information we have yet to collect. Detectives are actively working on several leads, but we want to assure the community that everybody is safe.
We'll have more on this story tonight with the news with Grant Olson. The Ellensburg Police Department is leading the investigation. Well, preliminary estimates for Chelan and Douglas counties show the average annual unemployment rate fell from 5.1 to 4.8% between 2017 and 2018, a 4.8% reading for 2018 and historically low average annual rate. However, the monthly rates have started to creep upwards. The not seasonally adjusted rate elevated 0.1 of a point between January of 2018 and January of 2019 from 6.9 to 7.0%. Meanwhile, the non-farm labor market provided 1,300 new jobs between 2017 and 2018. That's an increase of 2.9%, more robust than the state's 2.6% job growth rate during last year. Between January 2018 and January 2019, the number of non-farm jobs in Chelan and Douglas County rose by 500. That's a 1.1% upturn. Well, the Chelan County PUD is proceeding with plans to build 4 new substations to meet future growth in the Chelan, Wenatchee, Cashmere, and Leavenworth areas. Commissioners were presented with an update on those plans at Monday's meeting. The Utilities Distribution Director, Chad Rissman, says today's substation standards include a lot of new technology.
We were hardwiring everything, so everything required a copper wire from the information that it was going to collect to the receiver, then to go to system operation. Today, that wire doesn't exist. There's a blue hose, I like to call it blue hose, but there's an Ethernet connection that is connecting up all of these intelligent devices. We have the capability to collect tens of thousands of data points from each one of these locations now. It's all sitting there ready.
Rissman says using 2-acre sites as opposed to 1-acre sites gives more room for advanced monitoring, switching, and metering equipment, also improves safety, and offers the ability to install additional equipment to meet growth and increased capacity. He said the new site standard will guide land purchases for future subdivision locations.
We want our footprint to be a little bit bigger. This is showing Walla Walla substation that was built 2008 timeframe, and we were moving down that path where you can tell we've got a future slide in here that we want to be able to build another substation inside here. So we're using the same footprint, utilizing the same property. And I think we've heard sentiments like that from the board. Let's acquire the property that we need in order to expand and meet the future needs. So this is an example of that, but it's also an example that we think we not quite there yet in terms of acquiring the needed square footage for what we think might be our ultimate plans within the station, making sure that we can meet tomorrow's reliability expectations.
PUD officials say work is on track to start building the Omi substation. That's just north of Wenatchee. That'll happen this year. New substations in Leavenworth and on the north shore of Lake Chelan are set for construction next year. They also said that growth in downtown Wenatchee led to the need to enlarge the Wenatchee substation on Worthen Street. Construction for that is also targeted for next year. PUD staff also focused on finding a location for a new substation near the Chelan Dam and one south of Wenatchee near Malaga. County commissioners from across the country met in Washington, D.C. earlier this month to renew their pleas to Congress to support full mandatory funding of payments in lieu of taxes and a long-term solution to the Secure Rural Schools program. During the National Association of Counties Legislative Conference, House Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers voiced her support during a news conference at the Capitol.
PILT is also an important commitment from the federal government that must be continued. In 2018, rural counties in my district received $4.5 million in PILT funding, and it really helps them provide those services that are so important to the people who live in the rural areas. Our rural counties need the certainty, and that's why I'm going to join Derek Kilmer and so many others and all of you in doing everything we can to provide that long-term certainty that is so desperately needed for those that are living in rural counties all across America. And thank you all for being here today. Thank you.
Counties such as Chelan and Okanagan counties benefit from both the PILT and Secure Rural Schools program payments. With public lands in their jurisdictions, counties often provide critical services on those lands, including law enforcement, search and rescue, fire management, and emergency medical services. The U.S. Department of the Interior makes PILT payments to over 8,150 counties in 49 of our 50 states. Over 85% of Chelan County is publicly managed lands, and the annual PILT payment comprises about a third of the county's total operating budget. And finally, we mentioned this yesterday, we're going to mention it again today. The Washington State Apple Blossom Festival needs your help, especially if you got yourself a convertible. To celebrate the 100th Apple Blossom Festival, coming up next month, they're bringing back over 100 past royalty members from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, on down the line for the Smoke Growers Grand Parade on May 4th. They need convertibles or Jeeps, and they also, of course, need somebody to drive them. According to Festival Administrator Darcy Christopherson, the festival needs about 40 to 50 convertible-type vehicles, so if you have a convertible or a Jeep and you want to participate, go to appleblossom.org, fill out the dignitary application, and you're in business. All these the past royalty deserve to ride in comfort and in style. It is 17 minutes after the hour. The news. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. 17 minutes after the hour. The news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Eric Granster will handle sports. By the way, the Mariner game just ended, and the Mariners won. The final was 5-4. It took them 12 innings to do that. Eric will have sports coming up at 5 o'clock tonight. Again, Grant will do the news and also do the weather forecast 5, 6, and 10, available for you to watch on our website at ncwlife.com. You can also use our website to get a hold of us. Go to ncwlife.com, click on the Contact Us icon, drop us a note. We'd love to hear from you. You can email us, news@ncwlife.com. You can go to our Facebook page and message us, go to our Twitter handle, or even pick up the telephone. We're going to take a break. When we come back, sports. The Wenatchee Wild have tied their series with Cowichan Valley. Highlights coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse?
When it comes to real estate, our professional real estate agents come alongside you to help navigate the process of buying or selling a home. At August Edge, we want to free you from the hassles of buying and selling processes and complexities. At August Edge Real Estate, our professional, dedicated brokers will help you with all the complexities of buying and selling real estate. From start to finish, we've got the edge on real estate. August Edge Real Estate.
We're back 19 minutes after the hour on this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Sports. The Wenatchee Wild knocked off Cowichan Valley 4-1 the final. Woohoo! Game 4 of their BCHL playoff series. We are now tied at 2 games apiece. Wenatchee got on the board first. Less than 2 minutes into the first period, P.J. Fletcher scored his 4th goal of the playoffs. That made it 1-0. The Wild scored the only goal in the second period. That happened at the 9:28 mark by Murphy Stratton. That made it 2-0 heading into the third. And even though the Capitals got a goal from Brady Lynn in the final frame, Blake Barger and Marco Reifenberger made sure the series would remain tied. Heading back to Wenatchee tomorrow night. Our checker with a call on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network. The video courtesy of Hockey TV.
Get a bunch of folks together Friday night. We'll see you at the Wolves' Den. Here's Souter, right wing corner. Plays it back behind, comes up and has it on the backhand. Walks up the wall with it to the midpoint, opens up, shot, save, rebound, score! P.J. Fletcher. Lucas Souter came around the near boards, went up top to the midpoint in the extreme high slot, fired a shot through traffic. The stop was made, but P.J. Fletcher was right there to collect a loose rebound. A minute 54 into the contest, the Wild strike first, and they lead it 1-0. Where's played by Stratton over to Souter, top of the circle. Left point for Winslow. Modry unloads, shot, trickle, score! Modry took the shot from the right point. It was deflected in front on the way through. I don't know if Stratton got a piece of it or if it went off of a Capital stick. Modry's leaving the drive-by, so we're going to assume it's going to be credited to Modry. Time of the goal, 9 minutes and 28 seconds. Microgiannakis doubles back, sends a long feed ahead. Selivanov wants to play it. Now moved ahead for Brady Lynn. His shot, and he scores. Brady Lynn from the top of the left circle. 4 minutes and 48 seconds, time of the goal. And the Caps close the gap to 1. There's conquest for the Capitals. He comes up through center, poked off his blade. Reifenberger carries it in. Up the left wing boards. He's still got it to the backhand. Backdoor shot, score! Blake Barger. Set up by Reifenberger, who muscled his way down the left side. Danced through the defense. Kicked it back up to his stick blade. Moved in between the hash marks and sent the backhand dish over for Barger. Barger fires it home on the short side, his 4th goal of the playoffs. And the Wild now lead it 3-1 with 5:41 left to play. Sent down low for Lynn. Punched off his blade by Sasaki. Rattles out front. Microgiannakis curls. He shoots. That's blocked. Rebound. Chiseled across. Played by Sasaki. Over for Stratton. Then ahead to Reifenberger. He looks at the empty net and puts it home. Marco Reifenberger with the empty netter will seal the victory for the Wild here tonight. And this series is even up now at 2 games apiece. And that guarantees there'll be hockey here in this building on Sunday night.
Yeah, Game 5 at the Toronto Center. That'll be tomorrow night, 7:05. They will be playing 6 games at least. We know that. That will be back in Duncan, British Columbia on Sunday. And if they need to play Game 7, right back here in the big city Tuesday at 7:05. Let's go to the prep schedule for today. High school tennis this afternoon. Wenatchee is at Moses Lake. They get going at 3 o'clock. Eastmont gets the long road down to Sunnyside. They'll get going at 3. Cascade plays in Ephrata at 4 o'clock. Antioch hosts Tenasket in prep tennis. Not a lot of baseball. In fact, that's it. That's all you see there. Elmira Cooley Heartline, they're going to be the home team, but they have to play the game in Chelan. That's at 4 o'clock. Manson is on the road at Pateros at 4:30. Just one softball game to tell you about. Manson hosting Pateros again at 4:30. Ichiro Suzuki has played his final Major League Baseball game. The 45-year-old Japanese superstar announcing prior to this morning's game against Oakland in Tokyo that he would retire following the game. Manager Scott Service let him have one final moment of glory. This happened in the top of the 8th inning when Ichiro said goodbye. Check it out.
Mariners players are going to gather. This will be the moment. For the final time, coming off a Major League field.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? Ichiro finishes his 18-year Major League Baseball career with a .311 batting average, 3,089 hits. That's just in Major League Baseball. Of course, he played 9 years of Japanese professional baseball. Think about this. Between his career in Japan and his career in the United States, he made over 14,000 plate appearances. That's remarkable. Then they went out and played the game, and it took extra innings, and they won. The Mariners won. They won 5-4. It took 12 innings to win the game. So now it's back to the United States. They have a split squad training game today against Cincinnati and Peoria. The Major League roster, the 30 of them will be heading back to Japan. They'll be taking a couple of days off. So baseball is underway, and the Mariners are on a pace to win 162 games this year. 26 minutes after the hour. Those are just some of the games that people are playing. The obscure holiday of the day today. Today is Common Courtesy Day. Common Courtesy Day. Just treat other people decently, and you'll be fine. As simple as that. I don't know if it's just me, but I think basic common courtesies are not what they used to be. It's very important for us in a given social or cultural setting that we treat each other with basic respect. You open the door for the lady. You say thank you. You respect people. Just basic human respect and kindness goes out just a long, long way. And here's a thought. When you're wrong, say you're sorry. It's amazing how far that goes. Just common courtesy. It's easier to practice common courtesy than to be a jerk. I know. I've tried both. Let's go ahead and move on to today in history. It is March 21st, and 106 years ago, the Great Dayton Flood. Dayton, Ohio flooded. Remarkable statistic here. 360 people died. 20,000 homes were destroyed by the Great Dayton Flood. Is the most disastrous, worst natural disaster in the history of Ohio. The volume of water that passed through the river channel through downtown Dayton equaled the monthly flow of Niagara Falls. Downtown Dayton, 20 feet of water. That's remarkable. The Great Dayton Flood happened on this date 106 years ago. Say goodbye to Alcatraz. The Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary closed 56 years ago today. Frank Weatherman was the last inmate. They announced they were going to close Alcatraz a year earlier, and so they just gradually started to reduce the prison population by redistributing the prisoners to other federal prisons along the way. And then finally on this date in 1963, the last 27 prisoners were let go. And on this date, March 21st, 1980, 39 years ago today, at a press conference at the East Room of the White House, Jimmy Carter said, "Sorry, we're not going to go to Moscow. We're going to boycott the 1980 Summer Olympics because the Soviets have invaded Afghanistan." That happened 39 years ago today, and by golly, we didn't go to Moscow. Finally, a couple of birthdays. Somebody once asked me, who's my 3 favorite classical composers? And I said, it's easy. Johann Sebastian Bach. Bach was born in this date in 1685. And for somebody who was born in the 17th century, he lived a long time, lived to the age of 65. The Art of the Fugue, the Brandenburg Concerto, the Mass in B minor. He wrote for a lot of instruments. During his lifetime, he was known as a organ virtuoso. He could play the organ about as better than anybody ever could. Wrote a lot of music for the organ. Bach, one of the half-dozen greatest composers of all time, born in the state in 1685. And Matthew Broderick celebrates birthday number 57 today. He first got my attention on War Games, which is still a great movie. War Games, and of course Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and then he was the voice of Simba in The Lion King. Happy birthday, Matthew Broderick. He's 57 years old today. And before we take a break, a quick little note about our friends at Campbell's up at Lake Chelan. You know they've been around for 118 years. When you've been around for 118 years, you pretty much know what you're doing. And this is a really, really good time to go to Campbell's because as a special thank you to the local community who keeps Campbell's afloat. I mean, who's kidding who? People come to Campbell's from all over the world, quite frankly. But if it wasn't for the locals, Campbell's wouldn't be around. So they have a great locals rate. It starts at just $95. So take a little mini vacation. And if you live in the north central Washington area, you can go up to Campbell's and just get away from it all. Have a gourmet meal and some nice wine or some champagne and just chill. Come stay for a night or two at Campbell's. $95 is a heck of a deal. Give Campbell's a call and check it out, or just go to their website, campbellsresort.com, and just look for the local rates, and you'll be glad you did. Campbell's Resort since 1901. That is impressive. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes. And then, of course, Bonnie Orr, our good friend, will be dropping by to talk about spring gardening. But before we get to that, we got kennel cameos. Let's see if we can find, I forgot the name of the dog. Gator the dog. Thank you, Megan. Gator the dog. It's kennel cameos on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Life Channel. We are here with Jenny, the volunteer coordinator at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and joining us this week is Gator. Can you tell us about Gator?
Well, Gator here is he is a 3.5-year-old boy. He is an absolute love. He's a favorite of our volunteers here and our staff. Gator does need to be in a home with no other animals. He just wants to be your best friend. He does have a skin condition, and we are working on it here in the shelter, and our vet would be willing to talk to somebody about how to treat it. We don't know if it's also stress-induced from being here at the shelter. We just really want to see this sweet guy end up in a really great home. He's been pretty stressed here. We've had him for quite a while, and he really deserves a home.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Welcome to Boswell's Home Furnishings. Come in and explore their expansive 2-story showroom at your leisure. You'll find comfort and inspiration for every room in your home. Boswell's has been filling customer furniture needs for decades, from contemporary to the classics, for living room, dining room, and bedroom sets. Purchase in-store or create your own unique style. With Boswell's complimentary design service, your vision is their passion. Where would you like to start?
RLS Productions is proud to bring to the NCW Life Channel the Concerts in the Garden Summer Series held at Omi Gardens. The series features performances from Rare Earth's Peter Rivera, Heart by Heart, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, The Infinity Project, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, and a whole host of other great acts. Tune in Wednesdays at 1:30 and 7 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. RLS Productions Concerts in the Garden Summer Series, only on the NCW Life Channel.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers 1-bedroom apartments for one affordable price. Their rates are all-inclusive, no nickel or diming or sudden increases, just one set price. You or your loved one will receive good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Stop on by for a tour to see if the Epladolin family is the right choice for you.
Family owned and operated Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Cashmere. Affordable care.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old, fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, you hear sometimes how many Europeans speak more than one language when we Americans only speak English. Now, this has probably started to point out just how parochial and unsophisticated we Americans are. Well, Europe and the U.S. have similar land masses, but Europe has about 23 countries and about 50 different recognized languages. Now, most Europeans travel around to different countries and that kind of stuff, where most Americans travel around in America and may never go to Europe. So why do we need to know more than one language? Okay? Most Americans to speak only English is hardly an indication of a lack of intelligence or sophistication. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion.
Hey everyone, did you know that the NCW Life channel is North Central Washington's go-to source for news? No matter how you prefer to view your news, NCW Life has you covered. Watch the evening news weeknights on TV, stream it, read it at ncwlife.com, or catch the latest news by following us on Facebook. Stay informed with local news, sports, weather, and shows featuring local people and events. NCW Life, a reflection and a spotlight of the communities we call home.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Health Alliance Northwest. This Saturday and Sunday is prom dress giveaway in the Old Hastings building. Women's Service League of NCW will be giving away dresses, shoes, accessories, and more. Night at the museum is this Saturday at 6. Explore the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center while enjoying gourmet foods and drinks while listening to live music. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
When you have to get there on time and looking good, call Fast, Friendly, Reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. Available 24/7, AC Checker Taxi has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee for your pre-booked call. Some conditions apply. Call 663-8294. AC Checker, 663-TAXI. Schedule your ride ASAP or book up to a year in advance online at acchecker.com. American Classic Checker Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley, from the staff at Collins Fashions. Christy, Heidi, Georgia, Julene, Judy, and I, we are your Brighton headquarters for the Valley, and we are here to assist you with your personal and gift-giving needs of jewelry, handbags, sunglasses, etc. We carry your favorite brands such as Tommy Bahama, Karen Kane, Tribal, Jag, Nick and Zoe, Joseph Ribcop, foundations from Spanx and Shapies, cute, comfortable shoes and sandals. Our staff will style you head to toe at Collins, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Happy spring. The spring equinox is at 3:58 yesterday afternoon. Spring is here. Winter is gone. Good riddance. Done. Toast. Bad winter. Didn't like it, but I love this woman to my immediate left. She is the Dirt Diva. She's a WSU Master Gardener. She's Bonnie Orr, who visits me every equinox and every solstice.
That's right.
Hi, Bonnie.
Hi. So, yes, we have lots of things to do now because the season is sort of telescoped. Speaking of telescopes, did you see the moon?
Yeah, it's been spectacular the last couple of days.
It has been, hasn't it?
Yeah. Happy spring.
Happy spring.
Here's something funny. I've been dying to tell you this. The last time you were on the show was the first day of winter.
Right.
Was the winter solstice. And you know what happened on December 20th or 21st, I should say? We set a record high temperature for that day.
I know.
And I thought, oh, this is going to be a harbinger of a lovely El Nino winter. Anyway, winter is done. We're toast. So the first thing that everybody wants to know is, is my yard going to be just fine because we had all the snow and then the super cold March? Are we cool? Are we ready to go?
We're cool, but
okay.
Everything is just, look at how fast the snow is evaporating. We have lots to do. And the most important thing is if you have backyard fruit trees, you must get your dormant or delayed dormant sprays on. Otherwise you don't have good fruit. You know, you have diseases on the fruit as well as on the tree, and so you want to smother all of those bad guys. Okay. And so the dormant spray until the temperatures are in the 50s, and then the delayed dormant when a little bit of green starts to show on the shoots, the flower buds.
Is it regardless of what kind of backyard tree you have, whether it be an apricot or cherry?
But peaches and nectarines are particularly need to be taken care of, and you'll have better fruit if you do those sprays.
Okay.
So, and that's important. And also, people always want to start on their lawn, but the lawns are way too wet to do thatching or to put down pre-emergence. Remember, the pre-emergence go down if you choose to use an herbicide, and that you when the forsythia blooms. And I'm not sure when the forsythia is going to pop out because the pussy willows have just shown up.
Are they a little late this year, the pussy willows?
Yeah,
Are they
they're usually mid-February.
Yeah, so they're like a month behind.
Yeah.
Is everything, generally speaking, going to be later this year?
Well,
because of the
everything
weather?
is just sitting there, but it's all blooming at once. You know, it's all going to be, everything that should have been spread out over 3 weeks is now this week. Which is really nice. Which is really nice. But you know, my new thing, my theme this year is, I think people should go back to clover lawns.
Clover lawns.
Right. Until the 50s, clover was the preferred lawn. Okay, clover doesn't have to be mowed. Clover is friendly to the environment. Clover is you don't have to fertilize. And you don't have to use pre-emergence or other types of herbicides or chemicals.
I've never gone to a garden center and picked up a bag of clover seed. Does
It's
it even
available.
exist?
Yes, and there's a dwarf form that is very, very low to the ground.
I had no idea.
And so this is going to be my theme, is getting healthier lawns by having something different.
Well, how does clover grow different than, say, regular good old-fashioned Kentucky bluegrass?
Well, first of all, you don't have to mow it because it doesn't get tall.
Okay.
And also, Kentucky bluegrass gets weeds in it. And so people are always wanting to do something about that. Well, clover can out-compete it.
Can clover grow dense enough so the weeds can't get going?
Yes.
Like a really good
Yes.
lawn.
Yes.
Of course, you don't
Yes.
get weeds because
Yes.
the weeds they can't win the
You
competition.
can't play football on it.
Okay, well that's, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, I want to talk to people about
So if you want to plant clover, when's the time to do that, I suppose?
Well, when the ground is warm enough, because remember, everything is soil temperature.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about the fact that, you want to plant your peas now, and the soil temperature is in the 30s still. And maybe in a couple of days it will be in the 40s. You can plant peas when the soil is 40 technically, but your germination rate will probably be maybe 50% at the most.
It's not worth it.
If you wait till the temperature is 50, then you have really high germination rate. So, just wait and just be patient, a little patience. The thing that not being patient is there are many bare root plants that are showing up at different places that sell plants. And with the cold soil, those roots are not going to be happy. And so if you just can't wait to buy one of those bare root plants, you want to be able to find a place in your garage, an extra refrigerator, where you can keep it dormant so it doesn't break dormancy, because if you put those roots into the cold soil, it will not thrive.
Is there anything you can plant in the ground right now, even though the soil temperatures are not even to 40 yet? Or is that just wait until you get to where it needs to be? Because they're just going to die. They're not going to make it.
I mean, if you you can plant something, but it's not going to come up.
It's not going to come up. Is there any concern about, say, the soil temperature does get plantable? We'll use peas as an example. Okay, we're going to get to 40, and the soil temperature is not going to get below 40, but then we have a real difficult cold snap. Say it could happen.
It will not hurt anything.
Okay.
Okay. The thing that is, like soil temperature. If you're going to plant corn or beans, the soil has to be 70 degrees. That is at the 1st of June. I mean, for us, traditionally.
Yeah.
So, just rushing things is, putting your tomatoes out, they'll just sit there and shiver.
Yeah.
Just relax.
One of the first things I learned with Bonnie on Green Thumbs and Dirty Knees is that when the weather gets warm in spring, and we're in for a significant, the long-term forecast, by the way, for like May and June is warmer than normal temperatures and less than normal precipitation. So this whole thing is going to flip around. Then everybody wants to plant everything at once, and that's a huge mistake.
Yeah, it is all based on soil temperature. And the master gardeners have a list of what soil temperatures are needed for what types of seeds. And there's something called growing degree days. And we're kind of familiar with that because they always have for the apple blossoms, about how many degree days have been accumulated until 1,000 when it's supposedly going to be full bloom.
Right.
Well, not only are most plants guided by this air temperature, but insect outbreaks also. The insects hatch at a particular number of degrees. And so it's a whole new way of managing your garden is understanding about the temperatures.
It's also understanding the good bugs and bad bugs.
Right.
Because people just assume bugs are bad by general because they're bugs and they just want to eradicate them.
I know it.
Huge
And
mistake.
so, yes, it is. And it doesn't matter whether you do it organic sprays or conventional sprays, you're still killing everything.
Can you go to that with one more thing about soil temperatures and planting seeds in the ground? a soil temperature gauge or thermometer or thermostat?
I use my I use an instant read thermometer from the kitchen.
That's all it takes?
It's an extra one I put in.
Because people have asked me this question. I don't think I've ever asked you. How deep do you?
6 inches.
6 inches. Okay.
Because that's how deep the roots are going to go.
Okay. So grab your meat thermometer, whatever it is, go 6 inches in the ground. Take a look.
I didn't say that.
Well, and they sell these things too.
Yes.
Garden supply centers.
No, or at a kitchen supply store.
Okay. What else are we forgetting as we're talking about getting ready for spring gardening before we take a break? I'm sure I'm forgetting something.
If you're going to use herbicides, making sure that you read the label, the entire label, and it is temperature sensitive, that there is a low temperature and a high temperature that you do not apply chemicals, above, and it tells you that on the label. And most herbicides have a shelf life.
Oh, they can't expire.
Yes, and if you've had it and it's frozen in the garage, it probably will not be as effective as you would like it to be.
Okay, that's important. That's a good thing to note. And as Bonnie's always mentioned before, if you put your garden and your yard and whatever it is to bed correctly in the winter, you're ahead of the game in the spring. It just makes it that much easier.
Well, I'm just starting to do the cleanup. The snow's gone away because I don't clean in the fall because I want to have a place for the insects to shelter for the winter. And I've found all sorts of praying mantis, eggs and all sorts of other interesting things in there.
How was your winter garden, by the way? Bonnie plants a winter garden, grows some of the most flavorful carrots you'll ever have.
Yeah, carrots and beets. I just did carrots and beets this year.
Oh.
Yeah, and I dug the last of them last Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good as always?
Oh, yes.
Good as always?
Wonderful,
Good.
sweet.
Bonnie Orr is my friend. She's the Dirt Diva. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the Master Gardener's got a lot of stuff going on this year. We're going to talk about that and all things gardening. With Bonnie Orr, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. First full day of spring on the NCW Live channel.
This is Kerry Condata from the 12th District. We are going in session with direct reports from your legislators in Olympia. We'll get the straight story every week. We'll add the national, state, and local news and have it all wrapped up for you right here on the 12th District. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Clayton Walker, General Manager at Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Wenatchee, and I'd like to invite everyone to the dealership to see how easy it is to buy your next new or pre-owned vehicle at your local dealership.
And I'm Mick Fabian, General Sales Manager, and we currently have a huge selection of new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot to choose from, including the 2019 Motor Trend Truck and SUV of the Year.
So come on down to town and let us earn your business in 2019 at 1001 North Miller Street in Wenatchee.
Where will you be a year from now? You could be working as a medical assistant. The Charter College Medical Assistant Certificate Program gets you work ready in 10 months. Add 5 more months to earn an associate degree. We prepare you with hands-on training and support you after graduation with job search help and interview skills. Institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, Charter has been training healthcare professionals for more than 30 years. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
That's pretty much it. It's a great house, great neighborhood.
It's great. Sam's still getting used to the idea of moving.
Sam, you play basketball?
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Now I'm thinking you put your hoop right here, and you even got enough room for a three-point line. One of the things I've noticed is that if you got a hoop in your driveway, you make friends real fast.
At Coldwell Banker Levine, our agents don't just understand real estate, they understand what home is all about.
And we are back at Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz alongside Bonnie Orr, the Dirt Diva. As we were talking off camera, Bonnie's a native of Eastern Montana, so this winter was like summer to her. no big deal there. Get right through it. For me, it was not the most pleasant of winters. We're glad it's gone. Spring is here. Lots going on this spring.
It means that Arbor Day is going to be coming up.
We
have, this is for more than 25 years we have been distributing trees. We've distributed like 180,000 trees. Yeah.
I'm no expert, but that's a lot of trees.
April 13th is the distribution day in Leavenworth, Eniat, Cashmere, Orondo, and Wenatchee. And we always say, you know, plant the right tree in the right place, you know, the power lines and everything
Trees
like
get
that.
big.
Yes, they do. They
Yeah.
grow up. We have really fun ones this year.
Okay.
We have Doug fir, because people like growing that for a little Christmas tree. Pinyon pine. We've never had that before.
Pinyon pine.
That's one of the has the it's Pinus edulis. You eat the nuts. You know, has those large nuts. Engelmann spruce, golden currant, oak leaf sumac, native high bush cranberry, which is a type of viburnum, and Douglas maple, which is also called Rocky Mountain maple.
Okay.
So we have a deciduous one. We have shrubs that are good for wildlife, and then we have a couple of 3 conifers.
And the best thing is, since it's the master gardeners are getting involved in this thing, all of these trees and plants and shrubs are going to, if you plant them and take care of them, they're going to be just fine. You're not going to, you know, they're not going to say, here's a palm tree.
No, we choose them carefully for our region, and packing night is at Ballard Ambulance on the Thursday before, on the 11th, from 4 o'clock to about 8 o'clock. We serve pizza. We just need lots of hands to put them together. And then the distribution is going to be from 10 to 1 in the areas outside of Wenatchee, and in Wenatchee it'll be from 10 to 3.
What does this cost?
Oh, well, we asked for a donation of $2 so that we can buy plants for the next year.
Are the plants ready to go? I mean, you don't have to, I mean, provided the weather and the soil temperature, everything's fine, you take them home and you plant them.
Yeah, they are bare root, or else they are going to be in little plugs.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to go.
Ready to go. And then the master gardeners, of course, on the 27th of April, have their plant sale with 30 kinds of tomatoes.
30?
Different kinds of tomatoes.
So who's been propagating those?
Master gardeners have.
Okay.
Master gardeners have it. We have plum tomatoes and paste tomatoes and slicers and heirlooms and So
30, wow.
Yeah.
And of course, tomatoes, as we've talked about this before, are a very temperamental kind of a plant, aren't they?
I don't know. It depends on how green is your thumb. People love to grow tomatoes.
Yeah.
And the one thing is that they sometimes want to rush it. And I wait till June 1st to plant mine because I'm waiting for soil temperature. So those people who plant it on April 15th, because I know people who do that, and on May 1st, on July 1st, all of our tomato plants are the same size.
Same size.
You know,
they're at the same
and
level.
I always say, gardening is not a competitive sport. You do not have to have the first tomato.
Right. And only grow, if you're going to grow a garden to consume, you're supposed to grow the vegetables that you want to eat, that you enjoy. You know, why plant a rutabaga if you're never going to eat it?
Or kohlrabi or something, you know, if you don't can eat it.
And who's kidding who? When you go to the grocery store, the tomatoes look perfect. They look perfect. They're flawless. They're genetically engineered, and they taste like nothing.
Yeah.
They have no flavor at all.
And
A
they have no
homegrown
smell.
tomato it may not be aesthetically pleasing to look at, but boy, is it packed with flavor. It's the only way to go.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then I like to put them up for the winter also, you know, and that brings back some of the pleasure of
I put
growing
tomatoes
things.
on anything. Third Saturday is at the Community Education Garden for this season. This is the one up at the intersection of Springwater and
Western, right? And what we
did I
have
miss
is
something?
well, there's our,
this is the
our
schedule. Okay.
the schedule of them. So our first one is going to be on May 18th on simple irrigation practice, helping you figure out how to irrigate appropriately for your garden. And notice that it's in May because that's when gardens are planted.
And for the most part, the reclamation ditches are up and running and fairly clean.
Yeah, in
so
April, but
Yeah.
you know, so that. And then we have one on bees, and then you're going to have to read the others because I can't read.
What's eating your plants? This is on July 20th.
Bugs.
Identify common insect pests and effective methods of control. That makes sense. August 17th is the annual Tomato Gala.
Ta-da!
That's a big party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we will have maybe 30 different types of tomatoes
Oh,
for people
wow.
to taste. And then whichever ones win the competition, then those are the ones we plant for our plant sale.
I love how you do that because it's not a competition. And finally, September 21st, right around the autumnal equinox, it's fall into spring. Plan and prepare now for next year. Critically important.
And it is. Yeah.
And speaking of that, we're running out of time. This is something that I can't stress this enough. A lot of new development. Orchards are going out. Houses are going in everywhere. East Wenatchee, mostly in East Wenatchee. People make the same mistake. They buy their first house. It's maybe their dream home, but it's a brand new home, and they don't test their soil. They just go out and they buy bushes and trees and flowers and a yard and all that stuff without getting their soil tested, and especially if your house is on what used to be an orchard. It doesn't really matter. You got to test your soil.
Well, yes, you need to, and also you need to live in the house for a year to figure out the light. You know, where do you truly have full sun? How much shade do you have? Because you want to have plants that are going to thrive either in shade or in sun. And people go, oh, this is so puny. Well, it needs 8 hours of light, and you only have 2. So knowing your environment is important, and especially if you've bought a house that's already established. You need to live with that landscape before you tear it out and make it your own.
Mm-hmm. And there are some, and we know there are some really good professional people who do this for a living. You just bring your soil down to the lab, and they say, what do they got? And they'll come back with, they'll break it down by percentage.
I mean, and usually people want to add more nitrogen to the soil because things aren't growing well. Well, it could be the light instead, and it could be that you have too much nitrogen or too much organic material in the soil, and so that's why they aren't thriving.
I'm thinking about just going to Xeriscape. It just might
It's
be
not
the way to go.
Xeriscape.
You know what I mean?
Xeriscape is gravel.
Right.
Okay.
I might even do that.
Xeriscape is a measured amount of water, and the very best example of Xeriscape in this area is our garden down along the trail.
Yeah.
By the Neil Saunders train.
You can't miss it, and it's a really cool place. It really is. So to recap, clover, not grass.
No.
I still can't.
Get your head around. I will come and talk to you about that in depth.
Okay. So this still intrigues me, but you know, having a clover yard instead of a grass yard. So it's not something if you have like kids, we're going to run around and play. It's probably not a good idea.
No, Kentucky bluegrass is the tough one for that.
Right.
But if you're one of these people who only goes out on your lawn on the days you mow it, you know,
it's the way to go. And you can buy clover.
Seed.
I had no idea.
Well, see, and clover used to be the lawn,
Right.
and then different companies that wanted to sell product, you see, have changed what we wanted to do.
And that's what they're there for.
That's right.
You know, Scott and all these other
so sell more
companies.
chemicals, sell more lawn seed.
And as we
Have
mentioned
more
before, regardless of where you go, Home Depot, Lowe's, Save Mart, all the different gardening places who just really want you to go out and say, hey, it's sunny and 60, buy plants now. Buy plants now, just don't plant them now.
Yeah, so you have to have a place either to keep them in sun or else keep them dormant. Yeah.
And what do you look for when you go to a garden center to make sure that the shrub that you're buying or the plant that you're buying is healthy?
Small. You do not want the biggest one in the container. You want one that's more moderate, because if you buy a 2-gallon container and the plant is this big and it's been in there for a while, its roots are going to be wound around, and you're going to have to loosen all those roots up. So you're much better to be moderate. And the same thing if you're buying a blooming annuals or perennials, it's better to buy the ones that haven't bloomed yet, that are smaller, because they are not going to be so the roots are not going to be so compacted.
Are the garden centers, as a general rule of thumb, pretty good at stocking this time of the year? The kind of things that are going to grow, or they just grab stuff off a truck and put it in the...
I'm not going there.
You're not going there.
I'm just
curious.
I am not going there.
I'm just curious.
I'm not going there.
So.
I'm not. I have no opinion on it because I know nothing about it.
Well, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Master Gardeners have their offices on Washington Street. They're right across the street from the courthouse. They do great work. They'll answer your questions. If you got any problems at all, you can take a picture and email it to them.
That's right, and the email is chelanmastergardeners@gmail.com. Give us a phone number. Please, so we can contact you. And also, we'll be in May, we'll start being at the farmers market on Saturdays, and then in Leavenworth on Thursday. Anyway, we can be contacted by phone 667-6540 or by Gmail.
And despite this bizarre winter, and it was, according to Bonnie, we're good to go. Once we get to that soil temperature thing, we're going to catch right back up, with the exception of the pussy willows. They're way behind schedule. I wonder how the asparagus is going to do this year.
Probably beautifully.
Yeah.
Probably, but you know, it's time to prune your raspberries, your grapes before the sap starts to flow, and all those other good things. There's lots to do.
There's lots to do. Just the one thing that we can't stress enough is just a little too early yet to plant.
Yeah.
Almost anything.
Anything.
Until that soil temperature. gets up there. Bonnie, it's always good to see you. When am I going to see you again?
I think June 21st.
Okay. Well, no, I'll see you before June 21st. I'll see you before then.
Yeah, okay.
I absolutely will. And I got to go. I can't thatch my yard. It's too early, right?
Absolutely.
Too early to thatch.
The ground is too wet.
Okay.
And you'll just compact it.
Yeah, and that's not very good at all.
When the forsythia blooms.
I got to keep the mailman from cutting through my yard.
There we go.
I got a little pathway I don't need. Everybody have yourself a great Thursday. Enjoy spring. We will see you tomorrow. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.